Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt something was off? The atmosphere seems a bit unusual. Eyes quickly look away, and the brief, polite smiles lack sincerity. It feels as if you're invisible, or worse, seen as an outsider. Then you begin to wonder, could there be something in the way you present yourself, in those unconscious habits, that's causing others to subtly respect you less, even if no one says it aloud? This isn't entirely about who you are as a person. It might have more to do with seemingly harmless habits. These habits could be quietly pushing others away, impacting relationships, without you ever noticing. Today, let's explore 7 habits that may be secretly damaging your relationships and reputation, and how Stoic philosophy can help you break free from them. This isn't a journey to perfection, it's a journey toward daily progress. If you appreciate what we're doing here and want to keep learning together, do me a simple free favor by hitting the subscribe button and make sure you don't skip any part of the video to get the full transformative insights. Now, let's get started. Habit 1. Gossiping. Who among us hasn't gossiped? It can feel almost irresistible to share hot news about someone or keep up with the latest happenings in others' lives. Sometimes it makes us feel like part of a group, as if we belong somewhere. But be careful, gossip is a double-edged sword. When you gossip about others, people begin to wonder, if they talk about that person, are they talking about me when I'm not around? That's when trust starts to fracture. The impact of the gossiping habit. This habit doesn't just harm relationships, it also erodes you from within. We might think gossip brings us closer to others, but in reality, it builds invisible walls that separate rather than connect people. Once trust is lost, you'll find yourself feeling isolated, surrounded only by shallow, surface-level conversations. Seneca once reminded us, our reputation is merely a reflection in others' eyes. That outside view can never truly reflect our internal worth. Gossip doesn't build a positive reputation. It only leaves others with suspicion and caution. How to change the gossiping habit. Stoic philosophy is a powerful tool for overcoming this habit. Stoics believe that what lies outside our control, including the lives and actions of others, isn't worth our concern. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. Don't let precious time slip away into talking about others. Focus on living by your own values. When you live true to what you believe, the opinions of others lose their power to shake you. Another point to keep in mind is to live genuinely, not to show off, but to let others see your authenticity. Gossip often stems from a desire to cover our own flaws, but Stoicism encourages us to face ourselves honestly. Seneca also said, live in such a way that you can be proud, even if every detail about you is made public. Don't let others' words control your actions. Instead, act based on principles you set for yourself. Lastly, remember that it's not the gossip that matters, but the truly strong relationships in your life. The people closest to you are the ones worth your time and trust, while outside chatter isn't worth your attention. Choose the Stoic path. Avoid gossip and don't lose the trust others place in you. The next time someone invites you to join in gossip, remember that you always have a choice. Join in and gradually lose people's trust, or stay silent and focus on what you can control. By doing so, you'll feel a deeper sense of peace. Others will notice and respect you for it. And the respect you gain from staying true to your values is worth far more than the fleeting thrill of gossip. Habit 2. Passive aggression. Have you ever felt annoyed but didn't want to say it outright? Instead of clearly expressing your emotions, you quietly hope others will pick up on it. It's like sending smoke signals in a storm, believing others will automatically sense your mood. But the truth is, this rarely works and often leads to misunderstandings. Take, for instance, when someone invites you to join a project that you're uncomfortable with. Rather than firmly saying no, You might respond with, "Well, I guess I don't really have a choice." Then, you go on to work with a less than enthusiastic attitude. This behavior confuses others, while you remain frustrated, assuming they should have sensed your discomfort. The impact of passive-aggressive behavior. Being passive-aggressive doesn't just obscure your message, it exhausts everyone involved. Imagine you're upset with a friend for canceling plans at the last minute. Instead of explaining how you feel, you give short, cold replies to their messages. The friendship slowly cools off, and no one really knows why, just because neither of you wanted to face the issue. This behavior can make both parties feel distant and creates unnecessary tension. In the end, you don't solve the problem and only damage the relationship. Solutions for overcoming passive aggression. Stoic philosophy can help you break free from this cycle. Stoics value honesty and direct communication, believing these are essential for strong relationships and personal peace. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Speak the truth as it is, instead of evading or hinting." Passive aggression is rooted in fear of confrontation and fear of being hurt. But it doesn't make the problem go away. In fact, it only complicates things further. Here are some ways to improve this habit. Use I statements. When expressing emotions, start with I, so the other person can understand the issue without feeling blamed. For example, "I feel stressed when I don't have enough time to prepare for a project. Is there a way we could adjust the timeline?" This not only clarifies your feelings, but also opens up a chance for others to understand and empathize. Express emotions honestly. Instead of staying silent and waiting, say what you truly feel. This allows you to release your feelings and strengthens relationships with more clarity and closeness. Provide constructive feedback. When faced with an unpleasant situation, try to respond differently rather than staying silent or hinting. For example, if a colleague often arrives late, instead of showing your frustration, you could say, "It would be helpful if we could start on time." This helps you communicate effectively without pressuring or making the other person uncomfortable. Choosing honesty in communication isn't always easy, but it earns respect. More importantly, you'll feel relieved not having to hide behind subtle hints anymore. Clear communication builds strong, genuine relationships, helping you avoid unnecessary pent-up emotions. Next time you feel like sending a cold message or reacting passively, ask yourself, "Do I want to play a guessing game or handle this like an adult?" This habit can keep you stuck in frustration, but straightforwardness offers freedom. Life becomes much simpler when you don't expect others to guess your feelings, but can openly share what you truly feel. Habit 3. Avoiding responsibility. We've all encountered people who always have a perfect excuse to deflect blame, or sometimes that person might even be us. Didn't send an email on time. The internet was acting up today. Turned in a project late. My computer crashed right when I needed it. Didn't finish the report. I had too many things to juggle at once. At first glance, these excuses seem convenient, right? They shield you from immediate criticism. But each time you make an excuse, you're passing up a chance to improve and grow. Whether you notice it or not, those around you see the lack of responsibility and may start to think you're unreliable. As Musonius Rufus said, "Even if you lose everything, no one can take away your right to choose your response." By deflecting responsibility, you're giving up control and blocking your own progress. The impact of avoiding responsibility. Constantly making excuses not only makes others see you as untrustworthy, but also keeps you stuck in place. I once took on the responsibility of organizing an important presentation, but I failed to prepare the necessary materials and equipment. The result? The presentation didn't go as planned. My first reaction was to blame everything around me: lack of team support, tight deadlines, external circumstances. But then I realized, if I kept making excuses, I'd never learn anything. So, I chose to take responsibility and admitted to the team that I hadn't been fully prepared. The result was surprising. Instead of criticizing me, the team appreciated my honesty and was willing to work together to find ways to improve. Without the excuses, I felt much lighter and could focus on becoming better. Owning up to responsibility and speaking the truth not only strengthens relationships, but also builds self-respect. It's a gradual path to growth, bit by bit. Solutions for overcoming the habit of avoiding responsibility. Stoic philosophy offers us a clear direction. Our lives are shaped not by what happens to us, but by how we respond. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you take responsibility, you're reclaiming control over your life, shifting from victim to author of your own story. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the importance of facing his mistakes with honesty. Instead of blaming others, he viewed every challenge as a chance to grow. This integrity helped him become a symbol of self-mastery and resilience. So rather than avoiding responsibility, put on your own oxygen mask first, acknowledge your mistakes, and take accountability. When faced with an error, ask yourself, what part of this is within my control? This not only earns you respect, but also fosters confidence and stability. Life becomes much easier when you face your mistakes and aren't afraid to take responsibility. Next time you're tempted to make an excuse, ask yourself, do I want to keep repeating this cycle of failure, or do I want to truly grow? Stoicism reminds us that responding to challenges shapes our lives, and taking responsibility is the first step toward a meaningful and peaceful existence. Live like a Stoic. Take responsibility. Don't shy away from mistakes, and continually strive to become the best version of yourself. Habit 4. Poor hygiene. Personal hygiene might seem like a given, right? Surprisingly, though, it's something people often overlook when life gets busy or when they're facing a storm of stress. Small acts like showering, brushing teeth, and wearing clean clothes are not just about looking presentable. They're a way of showing respect for yourself and those around you. Stoic philosophy reminds us that maintaining personal hygiene is a form of discipline, and it's the first step toward building self-respect. The impact of hygiene on emotions and mood. Personal hygiene isn't just about looking polished. It has a profound impact on your self-confidence and mental health. When you keep yourself clean, you're sending a positive message to yourself. I am in control of my life. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that keeping one's body clean is a part of self-discipline. And truly, when you're not comfortable with yourself, it's easier for your mood to turn negative. I remember a time when I went through a hygiene slump. Stress, work overload, to the point that showering felt like a luxury. As a result, I felt more sluggish, less motivated, and even avoided socializing. Surprisingly, something as simple as a shower could make you feel refreshed and uplifted. When you show up looking presentable, those around you notice your effort, which builds trust and opens up more opportunities in both work and life. You might think, well, I'm a good person. They won't care about small things like that. But the truth is, people do notice the little details. Taking a bit of time to care for yourself can help you feel better and leave a positive impression on others. Solutions for improving personal hygiene. For those who've sometimes neglected personal hygiene, now is the time to pause and refresh, starting with the basics. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and personal hygiene is one of the simplest things to control in life. Think of it as part of your journey toward becoming the best version of yourself. If you've ever had a day where you just wanted to hide under the covers, now is the time to start small. Spend a few minutes each day to shower, whether in the morning or evening. brush your teeth, and mentally prepare yourself for a new day. When you feel clean, everything becomes more manageable, your mind feels lighter, and you can face the world with confidence and self-respect. Personal hygiene is a way to practice discipline and self-care, two core qualities of Stoicism. So, live like a Stoic. Take responsibility for every small detail in your life, including taking care of yourself, to show that you're ready to embrace life with strength and confidence. Habit 5. Constant complaining. Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, "This service is always so slow, I'm never coming back. Another traffic jam, this city is the worst. This weather is a disaster, it's never nice." Sound familiar? Life isn't perfect, and sometimes we need to vent. However, there's a fine line between sharing and complaining. When we encounter minor annoyances like traffic or a disappointing coffee, it's easy to slip into the habit of griping. From traffic frustrations to daily trivialities, one complaint leads to another, and soon it becomes a routine. The impact of the complaining habit. When you constantly complain, it's not only stressful for you, but also affects those around you with a wave of negative energy. You might not realize it, but this habit can make others uncomfortable and slowly create distance in relationships. Picture this: you're exuding so much negative energy that others start to feel uneasy being near you. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "We suffer not from events, but from our perception of them." When you continuously complain about small things like noise or the wrong coffee order, others won't be interested and may start to distance themselves to avoid your negative spiral. Solutions for overcoming complaining. Stoicism provides a straightforward approach to help end the habit of complaining. Marcus Aurelius once said that every event can be met in two ways. You can endure and accept it, or not. If you can bear it, then stop complaining and focus on finding solutions. If not, let go of the frustration, because complaining changes nothing and only drains your energy. Epictetus also advised that instead of complaining, focus on what you can control. When you're about to complain, pause and think of something to be grateful for, even if it's small. For instance, instead of grumbling about the weather, appreciate the precious time you have with family. Author A.J. Jacobs shared that noting positive things each day helped him reduce complaints and cultivate a positive spirit. Another way to limit complaining is to shift toward action rather than just venting. Authors Tim Ferriss and Will Bowen developed the 21-day No Complaint Challenge to encourage people to shift from a negative mindset to one of action. Ask yourself, can you turn this situation into an opportunity for growth? Maya Angelou wisely said, "If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude about it. Don't complain." Stoicism encourages us to cultivate gratitude instead of complaints. While you can't change everything, you always have the power to choose how you react. In doing so, you not only build a more positive, meaningful life, but also spread positive energy to those around you. Habit 6. Being chronically late. At first, I thought being 5 minutes late wasn't a big deal, but as this kept happening, little by little, I became the person who's always late. Whether it was for work, meeting friends, or a casual coffee date, my reputation slowly became tied to always arriving late. At one point, I even thought showing up late was a personal style, until I realized there's nothing cool about it. In reality, it's just a sign of disrespect, and sometimes a way for me to avoid the anxiety of facing others directly. What being late says about you. In Stoic philosophy, chronic lateness is not only a sign of disrespect for others' time, but also shows a lack of discipline in yourself. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that time is a precious asset that can't be reclaimed. Each time you're late, it's not only others who lose valuable minutes waiting, but you also waste your own precious time. Sometimes being late might even be a way to avoid uncomfortable social situations. I used to think arriving late would help me ease in without the awkwardness of being early and not knowing what to do. But in reality, being late doesn't make things easier. It only adds stress for everyone involved. The impact of being chronically late. Being habitually late doesn't just inconvenience others, it also adds pressure and stress to your own life. People with this habit are often in a rush, feeling anxious, which affects both productivity and mood. Constantly in sprint mode at the last minute makes you appear undisciplined, unreliable, and might even cost you opportunities at work. On the other hand, when you arrive on time, you feel confident, in control, and prepared to handle any situation. Solutions for improving the habit of being late. Stoicism reminds us that facing life head-on is what matters, rather than avoiding it. When you're frequently late, it's not just a time management issue, it's a sign that you're dodging responsibility. Stoics believe that living virtuously means keeping commitments, and being on time is one of the simplest, strongest commitments you can make. So, change your mindset and view punctuality as a way to respect both yourself and others. Here are some tips to help change the habit of lateness. Shift from 5 minutes late won't matter to arrive early out of respect for others. Set your alarm a bit earlier, prepare in advance, and aim to arrive early. Not only will others notice your change, but you'll also feel the difference when you're not rushing. Try the brain dump method. Do a brain dump. Jot down everything you need to do on paper or in an app. This helps reduce overwhelm and makes organizing tasks easier. Prioritize and time realistically. After listing your tasks, categorize them: important, urgent, or both. For example, if you think you only need 15 minutes to get ready, try timing it. You may be surprised that it takes longer. This helps with accurate planning and reduces the chances of being late. Identify and fix false procrastination. Sometimes you're not late due to poor time management, but due to procrastination. For instance, if you usually start tidying up just before leaving, it could be a sign of avoidance. Ask yourself, do I really need to do this now? If not, head out immediately. Start small. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Changing habits takes time. Start with small steps, like leaving 5 minutes earlier or preparing your things the night before. Gradually, you'll naturally develop a habit of punctuality without much effort. Being on time is not only about respecting others, but also about valuing your own time. See each instance of punctuality as a small step on your journey toward living responsibly and fully. Habit 7. Playing the victim. Who among us hasn't felt like the victim of unfair situations? Thoughts like, why do all the bad things happen to me? I've tried my best, but no one understands or helps me. Life's so unfair. Others are always lucky, while I keep facing challenges. These questions might sound familiar, and sometimes we genuinely feel overwhelmed by circumstances. However, seeing yourself as the victim in every story leads only to a state of helplessness and dissatisfaction. This mindset creates a self-reinforcing loop, making us feel safe because there's always something to blame instead of facing the difficulties head-on. The impact of the victim mentality. When you constantly view yourself as the victim, you hand control of your life over to forces beyond your reach. Initially, blaming circumstances might offer temporary relief, but over time, it only increases feelings of helplessness and creates distance in relationships around you. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." When you constantly complain, bad luck has struck again. You miss the opportunity to learn and grow from challenges. Facing hardships not only fosters growth, but also helps you understand yourself better. Once, I failed in a project I was highly invested in. Initially, I thought, why did this have to happen to me? But then I realized that question didn't help me in any way. Instead, I tried asking myself, what can I learn from this failure? What will I do differently next time? By changing my perspective, I no longer saw myself as a victim, but as someone who could draw valuable lessons and improve, breaking free from the victim mindset. The Stoic approach encourages us to take responsibility and recognize our power to respond to challenges. Rather than blaming fate or circumstances, ask yourself, what is within my control, and what can I learn here? Shifting from why me to what's my next step moves you from a passive role to an active one, helping you feel empowered and engaged in your life. Living like a Stoic means embracing challenges as opportunities, not defeats. Let go of the need to find something to blame, and instead, turn each setback into a stepping stone toward resilience, self-awareness, and growth. Solutions for changing the victim mindset. Stoic philosophy encourages us to embrace life with responsibility and proactivity. Instead of avoiding or blaming, see every challenge as an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius saw betrayal and adversity as occasions to practice virtue. Had he played the victim, he wouldn't have left behind his legacy of resilience and self-mastery. Here are some tips to shift away from the victim mentality. 1. Reflective journaling. Before bed, take a few minutes to reflect on the day. Ask yourself, what did I do well? What could I improve? What will I do differently tomorrow? Writing down your thoughts and emotions can help you identify areas for growth. 2. Practice gratitude. Be grateful not only for the good things, but also for the challenges. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this challenge? How did it make me stronger? 3. Embrace amor fati, love of fate. Love and accept everything that happens, including the tough times. This philosophy encourages us to view everything, good or bad, as an essential part of our growth. 4. Focus on what you can control. When faced with a challenge, ask, what can I do to change this? Focusing on action rather than blame fosters a sense of responsibility and confidence. 5. Acknowledge current emotions. When you feel life is unfair, resist the urge to blame circumstances. Instead, ask yourself, where is this feeling coming from, and what can I learn from it? By practicing these strategies, you shift from a passive, victim mindset to a more empowered, resilient approach that Stoicism advocates. Embrace life's challenges as essential lessons for growth, and let go of blame to foster greater self-awareness and confidence. Finally, let go of the mindset that everything happens to you and start believing that everything happens for you. This life is yours, and you are the author of its story. When you stop playing the victim, you'll discover a newfound inner strength and realize you're fully capable of facing and overcoming challenges with resilience and proactivity. Life will always present challenges. This is unavoidable. But rather than letting them defeat you, you'll learn to stand strong, ready to accept and overcome whatever comes your way. This is the power of Stoicism, the power of truly taking charge of your life. Remember, life doesn't just happen to you, it unfolds to help you grow. Every challenge, every failure, and every negative habit you overcome is an opportunity for you to become stronger, wiser, and live with a deeper awareness of yourself. You have the ability to control and shape your life, rising above bad habits to become the best version of yourself. If the insights in this video resonated with you, Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your feedback is incredibly valuable. Even a simple word of encouragement like, "Keep going," is a tremendous support. And don't forget to hit subscribe to keep receiving profound insights on Stoicism. Thank you for joining me today on Philosophic Stoic. Stay resilient, nurture your calm, and move forward with strength. May your journey with Stoicism help you live each day fully and peacefully.